scared. Let's go win some games.
There he is, Nick Bosa. He is back with a 5-year, $170 million extension, becomes the highest paid player on the defensive side of the ball in NFL history. It's $34 million per year in new money. New money is fugazi. It's a 6-year, $188.9 million contract that pays out $31.4 million per year from signing.
So you're saying when you add the fifth-year option, that's what
the fifth-year option
right.
of $17 million.
Right.
And and this is a very fine point, but it's amazing to me how many agents miss this. The guys who enter the league before 17 games, their fifth-year option number doesn't include the check for the 17th game. So when they redo their contracts, that 17th game check just kind of disappeared.
Right.
In Bosa's case, they made sure they got it in there, and it's like a $1.7 million item. So that's on top of it. It's $188.9 million, $34 million in new money, makes him the highest paid player in NFL history on the defensive side of the ball until Michael Parsons. I feel like it's just a matter of time before that happens.
Duel this out.
But that's the way it always works. You know why? The cap keeps going up. As long as the cap keeps going up, there's always going to be highest paid player in defensive history, offensive history, quarterback history, whatever. It's going to keep going up. The numbers will keep going up. That's the way it's always been. We were talking yesterday about how back in the 70s when Mike Schmidt, the former Philadelphia Phillies third baseman, was the first $2 million man in sports. The money keeps going up. The salaries keep going up. I know it freaks out the average person, but that's just the way it is because so much money keeps pouring into the game and half of it is going to the owners.
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, I'd rather the money in the players' pockets than the billion-dollar owners who are going to be fine no matter what. I think that's just, my baseline thinking there. But, man, I mean, not shocked that Nick Bosa, we knew this. We knew he was going to be the highest paid player in in defensive history. Did I think he was going to one-up, though, to this extent to get to the number 34? I didn't expect that, Mike. I didn't. I think when you average it out, right, with the fifth-year option, it becomes 31.4, right?
Yes.
Right?
But that's still good.
That's still good.
Damn good.
Damn good. And then the 34 a year new money average, that's a shocking number. I did not expect him to get to that. I mean, this is why. This is where the whole thing's gone crazy to me. And Nick Bosa's the man. He's definitely one of the 5 best defensive players in football. You could argue he's the best defensive player in football. But, the fact that he's $6 million more than TJ Watt here, just after TJ Watt, a year ago, 2 years ago, signed this deal?
2 years ago.
Right? That was pretty shocking to me, that it went that above the market.
I think the fact that Aaron Donald was in between them helped.
Yeah.
When a defensive tackle's at 31.67 on that weird 3-year deal where he had 3 years left, they ripped it up, they gave him 95 over 3, pushes it to 31.67. That's what you're trying to beat if you're Nick Bosa. And, along the way, I beat the highest paid edge rusher by $6 million. But again, it's just a year or so until Michael Parsons is even higher. And if the Cowboys try to play the waiting game like they did with Dak Prescott, it's only going to be more expensive.
Yeah.
It's better to just recognize, when you scratch off one of those lottery tickets in the draft, if you hit the jackpot, what that means is you're the one paying out the money. But you have a great asset who's going to be a key part of your football team for years to come, and that's how the Cowboys need to view it. That's how the 49ers viewed it.
That's right.
And sources close to me tell me, to
What?
use Dan Patrick's line,
Right.
he could have gotten more. He just was ready to play.
Yeah.
He could have gotten more, but he was ready to show up and play. And we got a glimpse of him from that video at the top of the segment. He's good to go, I think.
No,
he's ready to go.
Well, yeah, that's I never doubted that. That he is the psycho of psychos. He leads the charge for what we talk about with the 49ers all the time. That they do have, a bunch of renegades. And the thing that we love about the 49ers is that they go, hey, go run through the wall, and those players just go, sure, let's go run through the wall. Coach said to do it, and he's the leader of the leader of that charge there in that way. So Bosa's phenomenal. He's great for their culture and what they are, right? I think he stands for everything what Shanahan wants the players to be. Totally invested. Every waking moment is work harder, do something this, pay attention to the details, brings intensity and energy out to the practice field on a daily basis. So coaches love that. And then you go, oh, wait, and he's the best player on our team? Okay, so that's when you reward that type of guy. And we know the 49ers are a team that don't want to really blitz. Shanahan wants to rush 4, drop 8. That's the kind of ball he wants to play. And if you want to play that type of ball, then you got to have some dudes up front, and it starts with Nick Bosa.
There's usually a rhythm, a pattern, a process to these kinds of holdouts, and there's a point where the guy shows up, the deal gets done. Kyle Shanahan was getting a little nervous about where things stood because we're getting past the point where it should have been done.
Right. And I told you a little bit about.
Well, and he said it at a press conference last week too.
Cool.
I didn't want you to think I was telling stories out of school.
No, it's all right. It's all right. Yeah, it's good. I know. I did. Thank you. I appreciate you being respectful of that, right? But we were laughing a little yesterday, right? And I don't think he would have been mad for me telling this anyways. But after it was after the third preseason game, and we were talking a little bit, and I kind of just threw out like, dude, what's up with Bosa? And he was like, I don't know. I've been coaching the team, and I know we're making progress, but I don't know. Today was the first day I was like, hey, we got a game coming, and we got to get Nick Bosa back in the building. So, of course, after that third preseason game and the team and the roster is set in order and everything like that, I'm sure Shanahan started to get involved a little bit more in the conversations. I wouldn't be shocked if Shanahan just said, hey, give him what he wants, whatever. And they obviously did some finagling there too, right? They asked George Kittle to finagle some contract.
They had to restructure.
Trent Williams as well, right? It seemed like it was a team and an organizational effort to get this done for Nick Bosa, because they get a tough challenge, sneaky tough challenge this week going to Pittsburgh and playing that crew.
It is a funny dynamic. I need to mention this because every once in a while I'll do one of the radio shows in the Bay Area.
Yeah.
And they just assume.
I know, right?
Shanahan tells you everything.
That's right.
You tell me everything.
Right.
And all they have to do is ask me the question on the air, and I'll tell them everything too.
They do the same thing to my dad.
It's hilarious.
My dad goes on out there, and he's like, they think I know everything because they think you've told me everything about Shanahan and everything like that. And it's just not how it works.
And I'll tell them, even if you're right, that Shanahan has told Simms everything and that Simms has told me everything, I ain't telling you shit.
That's great.
I mean, what am I going to do? I'm just going to come on and start blabbing like you give me a drink, and all of a sudden, like you give me some schnapps, and I'm going to start saying everything that I know that I shouldn't say. Well, sorry, London, by the way.
Sorry. Hey,
they have a disclaimer before the show now, actually. So, I mean, if they're going to put a disclaimer before the show even begins, then we may as well live up to it, because you got people watching saying, well, wait a minute, they put up a disclaimer. It's been an hour, and these guys haven't said anything offensive.
You're right. All right. I'm going to get warmed up here in the second hour. Here I come, London. I'm coming. But it is a funny dynamic. And, as I've always told you, Shanahan, we have a great relationship. But, yeah, he does not tell me everything. And I don't ask him everything. And, I know other people in that organization. So if I need to really find something that's a little dicey that I know Kyle wouldn't tell me.
They'll tell you because they think Kyle told you anyway. That's the way to do it.
And so there's other ways I can get information out of that organization. But I'm glad to see them do it. Just like we talked about with the Chiefs and Chris Jones and Kelsey playing. You want to see the really good teams at full strength, to see their potential, their capabilities here, right? I wouldn't want to go at the end of the season and go, oh, man, the 49ers are a 4th seed because they lost a few games early on in the year because their players weren't there and whatever. And I think really they're the best team, but now they got a really tough road because of the 4th seed in those early season losses. So, this, of course, settles them down. And I'm excited to see what I think will probably be the most physical game of the weekend between the Steelers and the 49ers.
It's a game that should not be 1 o'clock Eastern.
I'm pretty shocked by it.
It is a big game. It's one of those games that it was a Super Bowl matchup that never happened, that feels like it should have happened at some point.
It does. It feels like those helmets should have been next to each other.
And they play once every 4 years with the possibility of playing in between that one time with that new scheduling rotation. But it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And to get that game week 1 at 1 o'clock Eastern, when it could have been held for some point later in the year in a standalone spot, I know that's the game I'm going to be watching more closely than any other. That's the game where the audio will be on in the new and improved viewing room. I believe.
Okay, I can't wait. We got a new improved. We got a TV for every game.
Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.